Max Verstappen was boiling beneath that helmet, and not just from the heat of the track. For a guy used to obliterating competition like it's a daily routine, the 2025 season has been one frustrating roller coaster. 2 podiums in 8 races? For anyone else, that's decent. For Max, it's borderline disrespectful. And after the latest mess at Zandvoort, he finally let Red Bull have it. Not just behind closed doors, he did it loud, clear, and in public. See, the real sting wasn't just that McLaren was faster. That's bad enough. What got under Max's skin was who was breathing down his neck all race long. His own damn sister team, Racing Bulls. The supposed B team. The development squad. The team with rookies and far less cash. And yet, there they were, with 20-year-old Isaac Hajar keeping Max on a tight leash the whole race, gap never stretching past 3 seconds. It's not just embarrassing, it's terrifying for Red Bull's top brass. The numbers tell a story that nobody at Red Bull wants to hear. Last year, Red Bull scored over 860 points, Racing Bulls just 25. Now fast forward to today, 15 races in, and Racing Bulls have already stacked up 60 points. Meanwhile, Red Bull's grip on dominance is slipping like a wet tire on a greasy track. That kind of convergence between two teams who supposedly aren't even close in resources or experience, that's unheard of. And Max made it clear it's not okay. Red Bull's advantage isn't just about the engine. They've got the better factory, the deeper talent pool, the decades of funding, the best driver lineup. They even cherry-pick talent from Racing Bulls whenever they want, and yet all of that has somehow turned into a car that's no longer a bullet on wheels. Meanwhile, Racing Bulls are fine-tuning their setup race after race and making Max Verstappen look over his shoulder, which is something no one expected this season. The worst part, it wasn't even tire strategy or race incidents that held Max back at Zandvoort. He admitted it himself. The pace just wasn't there. On soft tires, he was still over half a second slower than Oscar Piastri's McLaren. That's like being out-sprinted while riding a bike downhill. "I don't even compare myself to McLaren anymore," he said. And that right there is the quote that sums up how far the mighty have fallen. Red Bull isn't just losing ground to rivals, they're losing identity. This team dominated the 2023 season, winning 23 out of 24 races. They were the team to beat. Now, they're the team being questioned. If this keeps up, Red Bull might be fighting for scraps instead of titles. And that's a sentence no one thought they'd hear so soon. What makes the whole thing even weirder is the buzz in the paddock. Rumors swirling that Max might actually perform better in a Racing Bulls car. Sounds crazy, right? But when a team built as the junior squad starts looking more stable than the senior outfit, those whispers get louder. Add to that Hajar's rise, a rookie who just snagged his first podium and made it look easy, and you've got the perfect storm for a narrative shift. And here's the kicker. Fernando Alonso himself said it out loud. If Verstappen were driving for Racing Bulls, he might be leading the championship right now. That's not just gossip, that's a 4-time champ making a statement. And whether or not it's true, the fact that it's even a conversation tells you everything about where Red Bull is right now. This isn't just a dip in form, it's a crisis in confidence. Max knows it, the fans know it, the whole paddock feels it, and the scary part, we're only halfway through the season. Racing Bulls didn't just show up, they announced themselves. And the man at the center of it all, Isaac Hajar, a name most casual fans couldn't even pronounce a few months ago, is now echoing through the Red Bull garage with uncomfortable clarity. His drive at Zandvoort wasn't flashy or wild. It was clinical, mature, calculated. The kind of drive that makes team principals take a second look at the rookie file on their desk. Starting from 4th, he held his ground like a veteran. No oversteer panic, no rookie errors. Was calm execution lap after lap. He even managed to keep Lewis Hamilton and George Russell in check like they were the new kids on the grid. It was only a technical failure on Lando Norris's McLaren that opened the door for Hajar's first F1 podium. But make no mistake, it was coming either way. He didn't stumble into it, he earned every inch of that track. Now Red Bull's got a problem. A good one technically, but a problem nonetheless. They've got a prodigy lighting up the grid and a main car that's slipping. The natural question becomes, when do you pull the trigger? Do you bring Hajar in next season and throw him into the deep end alongside Verstappen? Or do you let him cook for another year, knowing full well another team might swoop in and snatch him? And then there's the ghost of that second Red Bull seat. The curse, if you will. Ask Daniel Kuat. Ask Pierre Gasly, ask Alex Albon, even Sergio Perez, once the stabilizing presence Red Bull needed, is now fading under the weight of expectations. None of them could survive the pressure cooker of being Verstappen's teammate. The car is built around Max. The strategy is tailored for Max. The atmosphere is dominated by Max. Hajar stepping into that would be like a kid walking into a lion's den, holding a steak. Still, things might be different in 2026. That's when the new regulations hit. A fresh car. A reset button. Hajar knows it. During his media duties at Monza, he said as much. He's not ready for a Red Bull seat right now, and honestly, that shows wisdom beyond his years. But 2026, that's the year to watch. That's when the second car stigma could disappear. That's when the playing field might actually level out inside the Red Bull camp. Meanwhile, Max is stuck in a strange limbo. He's still winning races, still grabbing podiums, still faster than almost everyone else on the grid, but his dominance doesn't feel inevitable anymore. McLaren's got the momentum, Racing Bulls have the energy, and Red Bull, they've got uncertainty. The team that once operated like a war machine now looks like it's second-guessing itself. And despite all the whispers about switching cars, Verstappen isn't buying into the hype. He was asked point blank if he'd want to try out the Racing Bulls car. His answer? A flat no. Not interested. Doesn't think it would help him beat McLaren anyway. And on the surface, that's fair. McLaren are in another league right now. But there's something deeper in that response. Something defensive. Almost like he knows even entertaining that idea would unravel the whole foundation of Red Bull's driver hierarchy. If Max starts entertaining other cars, even hypothetically, what does that say about the confidence he has in his team? What does it say to the engineers burning midnight oil trying to fix this year's mess? What does it signal to the fans who still believe Red Bull is a juggernaut? The truth is, the Verstappen Racing Bulls narrative might be nothing more than a provocative what if, but the fact that it even exists tells you something's cracked in the armor. And in Formula One, cracks have a nasty habit of turning into full-blown splits. Red Bull's identity crisis isn't just about lap times or podium finishes, it's about control. For years, they've dictated the pace of Formula One, not just on the track, but in the garage, in the media, in every strategic move. But the moment Max Verstappen starts getting hunted by his junior team, the illusion of control starts to break. The truth is, this isn't the first time Red Bull has danced with danger when it comes to their second team. They've always used Racing Bulls under whatever branding as a proving ground. Sometimes it works, sometimes it crashes and burns. But never before have the B team drivers performed so well that it reflects poorly on the main outfit. That's new. And that's why everyone's watching Isaac Hajar like he's the main character now. Even more awkward is the Yuki Tsunoda situation. He's had his moments, he's improved, but let's be honest, his name was never going to be carved into the Red Bull history books. Now, with Hajar shining and the second Red Bull seat looking cursed, Tsunoda's performances are being held under a microscope. And it's not helping that he's been outclassed by a rookie on the same machinery. Red Bull's top brass isn't blind to any of this. Sources close to the team have said they're hesitant to move Max to the Racing Bulls, even if it might give him better results right now. Not because of performance, but because of optics. They've worked too hard to separate the two teams on paper to sell the idea that they operate independently. A Verstappen switch would nuke that narrative in an instant. It would be a PR nightmare and open the floodgates of scrutiny. There's also the internal politics to consider. Helmut Marko, Christian Horner, Laurent Mekies. Everyone has their own stake in how this plays out. Promoting Hajar too soon risks burning another young talent. Leaving him in the B team might mean wasting a generational driver while McLaren runs away with everything. And making drastic changes to the Red Bull driver lineup while the championship is still mathematically within reach, that's a gamble not everyone is willing to take. But here's the thing, 2026 is creeping closer. That year brings new regulations, new cars, and possibly a new pecking order. That might be the perfect moment for Red Bull to rewire the entire structure. Hajar himself admitted he sees 2026 as the year he'd be ready to step up. A fresh car means a fresh start. No ghosts of second driver past, no inherited car behavior tuned to Verstappen's exact taste. Just a clean slate. For now, Hajar's playing it smart. He's not pushing, he's not demanding, he's letting his performance speak for itself, and it's echoing through the paddock louder than any headline. He hasn't had formal talks with Red Bull's top brass yet, but even that feels strategic. He knows his stock is rising, and sometimes the smartest move is letting the hype build on its own. Meanwhile, Verstappen will continue doing what he does best, dragging performance out of a car that doesn't deserve it. Whether that's enough to win the title this year is unclear, but what is clear is that Max won't stick around forever if things keep sliding. He wants to win. Always has, always will. And Red Bull better figure out quickly whether they're still the best place for that to happen. The real race isn't just on the track anymore. It's inside the Red Bull empire, between legacy and momentum, between dominance and disruption, between Max and the machine that made him a star. And right now, the machine's starting to rattle.